that with this COVID pandemic, the world will never be the same again, because one day we will have a vaccine and one day we'll feel safe. But 100 years ago there was the Spanish flu, right, which had nothing to do with Spain, by the way. but anyway, it was called the Spanish flu. For 100 years we've had on and off the SARS. We've had many other diseases that were important, but not as serious as what we've seen with COVID. So the world today has changed because the world is very small. We were talking before about where you're from in Russia. I've been to Russia many times. Maybe we know people in common. It's just like you get on an airplane, maximum 12 hours later, you're at a place. If you're in Europe, an hour and a half later, you're so the world is becoming, and we see with COVID, one area in China, one small town, well, small compared to the Chinese, obviously, size, but one town in China, but suddenly the whole world has a virus, right? So the drivers, going back to my first point, is becoming more and more important. Companies have a duty to make sure that their employees are safe, right? In order to do that, they need to create an environment where employees can work remotely and still be very very good at their job, very professional, and still follow what has been planned with the company. So that's the number one point, which I try to, and it is becoming much easier now because of COVID than it used to be in the past. I mean, I remember about 6 months ago, even more than 6 months ago, September time, almost a year ago now, a big CEO was telling me, as long as I'm CEO, nobody in my company will ever work from home, because that's, vacation in hiding.
Yep. I know this sentiment very much so, and I have a few examples of companies who said we're never going to go remote, and they switched overnight, literally overnight, right?
Yeah, I totally agree. That's it. They switched overnight, and that's why I'm saying. And so even if it was in their brain, knowing that they had to do it, they knew it was like they were against the wall. Let's do it. So that's the first point, is really the drivers and ensuring at least the change management is empowered for everyone. The second process that I work a lot on exactly how we make this happen. So when we had time before COVID, I used to follow a very simple, if I could say, but very efficient way of understanding digital transformation. The first one is I used to understand how companies would work, and I'm talking about all type of companies in the chemical world, in consumer electronics, agricultural, everything. Doing kind of an audit of the work that people would do. So looking at processes, looking at tools they were using, looking at the company's culture, because that is extremely important when you do digital transformation. And then once was that done, I would do, okay, where would you like to go? So talking to managers, but also talking to employees, because it's really important that everybody embraces the need for digital transformation. So then I would understand, where everybody wanted to go. And then the third step, I will do a gap analysis of between what exists and what needs to be done. And with that gap analysis, then I could do a roadmap of, okay, first step, in general, that used to be that. First step, we need to train people about change management. Change is something that people hate the most, including myself, including everyone. You have the way you work, the way you buy things, the way you enjoy yourself. It's you don't like to change it. Yeah, there's a space in the world you'd like to go because you enjoy the beach there or whatever. It's hard to make you change. So change management is in general very high up on my list of priority. But what's really important is that employees are at the center of all the decisions that the companies will take. Of course, the CEO needs to have his vision in place, and the CEO needs to drive and lead that vision, obviously. But behind that, as long as employees understand where he wants to go and how we're going to do it, then you're very likely to succeed.